First one I want to react to.
Now, if you're on certain spaces,
It's called the YN mindset is ruining society. Oh, for real? Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. This shit worse than it's ever been in my entire life, nigga. And I done lived in Chicago my entire life. You feel me? Let's get into it.
TikTok and social media, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the term YN. Not to be confused with Young Ninja. YN stands for Young Nigga, which is a slang popularized by rap groups. The term is supposed to represent young black men, mostly teens, and is heavily associated with the image of a black face, often in connection with erratic behavior, which...
I'm gonna say this. A YN ain't even a gang member or a street nigga. A YN, in my opinion, is just a dumb motherfucker who don't got shit to lose. The gang member, you feel me? They rep, they said they do their thing, rep, you know, protect their territory and shit, you know. Because I mean, that's what gangs was. Gangs was for the neighborhoods when they started and shit, not for that bullshit that niggas do now. YNs is just dumbass niggas who literally have nothing to lose. They are niggas who don't fear jail and don't fear consequences. That's what a YN is. Just a nigga who's okay with all the consequences that come with it. Whatever he's finna do, he already know what his consequences is. He's cool with that. That's what a YN is to me.
90% of the time involves hurting people, whether that be stealing, robbing, or just being...
And dumb as fuck. That's probably the biggest thing is YNs are dumb as fuck. A box of fucking rocks.
However, this term is not defined by skin color. It's more a mindset that the new generation of young people are taking on. We're talking about children as young as 10 being influenced by the behaviors that come with this term. And they're mainly being influenced by it through different forms of media, social media being the main one. But we also have music, specifically rappers, promoting this way of showing up in the world. A lot of the violent behavior from young people being publicized on social media right now can be connected to this mindset as well. And in this video, I want to talk about why the YN mindset is slowly ruining society. Rapper King Von, who died back in 2020, might be the poster boy for this conversation, because Von was not only the physical representation of what the YN term is associated with, which is a black face, but King Von was also big on being a menace to society. That's
I ain't gonna lie, niggas who like listen to Von 24. I ain't gonna lie, this nigga music was hard, but that shit was demonic. This nigga music was demonic as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, niggas ain't give a fuck about nothing. You know what's crazy is King Von, as much as he's praised, he's not even like the craziest killer out of Chicago.
But he took pride in being the way he was. And then he got himself into an altercation in November 2020. And
like, these niggas in Chicago are real dead-ass serial killers.
But he was a famous rapper, so he managed to, at the very least, reap the rewards from operating this way. Through the means of making a bunch of money from his music, he gained a lot of notoriety, fame, and recognition during his short-lived career. And although Von isn't here anymore, his music continues to influence kids all over the world in a negative way.
You say you wanna come ride with us? Yeah. What you gonna do though? Like,
nah, these niggas don't even care about Von no more. They moved on to Bloodhound Jeff. That's they new Von. Like, that's the new nigga that they going to is fucking Jeff. Look up Bloodhound Jeff, nigga. If you've been on TikTok and all that shit, that nigga Bloodhound Jeff supposedly caught 11 bodies. They say he caught. They know he caught like 11. They say he caught like 14. But nah, that nigga Bloodhound Jeff, I ain't gonna lie, it'd be crazy because you see these niggas and it's like, bro, these niggas don't look like killers. Like, they be like 6 foot, weighing about $130. Like, real skinny niggas that's just like, man.
you get caught.
I ain't snitched. I actually went to juvie.
Like, this is Blood. Let me show you who Bloodhound Jeff is. This nigga. This is him. Nigga, if you send me some gay shit, I might spit on you. They say I can't even see that shit. That link don't even work. Yeah, he a little skinny nigga, but this nigga was a demon though. I ain't gonna lie, like like he remind me of like, y'all know who Young Pappy is? That was another like big Chicago motherfucker who was big, but I don't know if he had all the shit, you know. I don't know about all the killing shit though.
Hey, Keith, you gotta chill though, but that's not cool.
Yeah, that's
It's not cool to be bad.
yeah, that's Bloodhound.
Cause I'm just trying to be like my idol.
Who your idol?
King Von.
What the?
Now that clip
Hey,
that I
that
just
should
played
be-
you, I thought was some kind of like skit when I, first came across it, but it's actually real. Here we have a young black boy around the age of 10 or 12 being asked about riding around with grown men.
What happened to these little niggas playing football? What happened to these little niggas being in the house playing video games all fucking day? What happened to niggas racing up and down the street? What happened to all these little niggas with that shit? Like, these little niggas nowadays be fucking 10 years old toting guns and shit, like taking guns to school, bro. Like, no bullshit. Back in high school, I think I was a sophomore, G. This nigga brought a gun to school. I'm convinced this nigga wanted to kill me. I'm not bullshitting. I was talking to his bitch and I didn't even know it was his bitch. But his bitch was going. His bitch was going. And I'm convinced he got expelled for bringing a gun to school. I don't know what the fuck he planned on doing. But boy, God was looking out for me if that's what he was coming to school for.
On a robbery spree. He's bragging about
I had a couple niggas wanting to kill me in high school. I ain't gonna lie.
Influenced him to be this way. And by the way, the title of this YouTube short, which is over 5 million views, is Crazy YN Chased His Teachers with Scissors. Now, the question I had when I seen this video was, why is this adult male in the car making these suggestions to this kid? That's a whole nother issue, right? But this is something
Niggas wanted to kill me in high school because they bitches wanted me. Long story short,
we don't talk about often enough. It's not just thousands. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of young people, might be in the millions at this point, adopting a similar way of thinking, being, and moving. And sadly, most of them are young black teens. But then again, like we stated, it's not a race thing, but more of a cultural thing. We're gonna dive into that later. And for the more mature crowd watching this video, right, who may not be on social media or even have, let's say, young nephews, nieces, or children growing up in this.
I wasn't even talking to niggas bitches. They was talking to me. Like, no bullshit, I'm not even fronting my shit. Bitches used to literally say I fucked them in high school and I didn't even know their name. I had to literally walk around school and ask motherfuckers, like, you know who this is? You know who this is? Nigga, it's not my fault y'all bitches going. And they sitting here lying to me saying that they ain't even got no nigga. So who fault is that? You ain't got your bitch in check. That's not my problem.
A lot of you guys might actually be confused and completely in the dark about this YN.
A big part of this shit is like, you can't even sit here and blame, like, I don't know, I keep pausing the video. I'm gonna let the video play and shit. A lot of these little niggas, they ain't have nobody beat their ass when they was growing up. That's one thing. Like, long story short, when I was a YN, I fought a dude who came back to his crib, came back out, got beat up again, had a knife in his pocket the whole time. What the fuck? Folks do like he got a little, what you call it? Not Indian. He looks like a specific ethnicity. Ethiopia, yes, that's exactly what the fuck I was gonna say. Ethiopia.
About this, if that's the case, and you enjoy this conversation, so
he looks exactly like a fucking Ethiopian.
Others, especially all the younger people who watch this channel, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And then we have, people like myself, kind of in the middle, where I'm connected to it in a lot of ways, and I see what's happening. But obviously, I'm old enough to have enough sense to know how dysfunctional it is for society in general. First, we got to get clear about one thing, which is the YN term is a term that propagates a negative stereotype of
that shit wild as hell. That shit don't even look real though.
When they think about
that shit look like a music video.
What pops up in their mind visually is a young black teen with a ski mask, maybe a company with a Glock 45, robbing people and being a menace. And that's something I personally think is a problem, right? It shouldn't be like that, but obviously it is, and there's some reasons behind it, and we're gonna get into that later on. Now, the term to me isn't actually the issue, as crazy as it sounds, because if it stopped at just being words, there wouldn't be anything to talk about. The biggest problem is the mindset behind it and the energy it carries. For anyone who's heard the term YN, you've also probably heard crash out. Crash out is, I think, the biggest
issue is how young these niggas starting out. Like, these not even crackheads that's doing this goofy shit. Like, these niggas doing this shit for a crumb. While you going and killing somebody for a car that's finna get took next week, nigga. Like, you killed somebody just for a joyride. Like, that shit is so weird. I don't get it. Like, these niggas literally, these are motherfuckers, they didn't grow up with their grandparents. These motherfuckers grew up in a generation where these moms just wanted to look cool and shit like that, and dads wanted to look cool, not actually being parents.
Ego or pain with no thought for the consequences that may follow. I think Duke Dennis, who's a popular streamer, he explained it perfectly.
Crashing out is making a decision in a split second that could throw your whole life away. That's what crashing out is.
I don't even think it's the whole split second thing. I think a crash out you ain't even gotta have the shit the split second. I think it's just a nigga who don't give a fuck about the whole consequences. You could go kill a president. This crash outs go kill a president and don't give a fuck about life in jail. It ain't even about split second decisions. It's just a nigga who does not give a fuck about the consequences. That's it.
Crashing out is, I'm ready to die about it. I'm ready to go to jail about it right now. Whole time the situation is not even worth going to jail about or dying about.
And shout out to Duke Dennis for the proper explanation.
That is what makes it a crash out, though. Is like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. That's what makes it a crash out. Like, if you had to do this shit, it's like, all right, that's not a crash out.
Very connected. One of them.
But if it's something you didn't have to do, nigga, that's a crash out.
Taking the person into account. So crash out can be about just about anybody, right? It can be about someone who's 15 years old, or it can be about someone who's 85 years old. YN is, however, catered towards the younger generation, and like we stated, it's often associated with young black.
That shit crazy.
Now the question is, what is considered YN behavior? Well, let's put it like this, right? Anything that's reckless, belligerent, and violent. So let me give a few examples, right? Smash and grabs are a prime example of this. Back in 2020, specifically around
crashing the whole fucking car in is some of the craziest shit.
And it was called smash and grabs. Smash and grabs, for anyone who doesn't know, is a term that describes a type of crime where a bunch of people run into a store, most times being a designer clothing store.
This was the dumbest shit ever. This was the dumbest shit ever, because simply, like, a lot of this shit you could sell, but you go get 5% of what is actually worth. You go get a phone, you go get 5% of what that bitch worth for real, because they could brick that bitch. So now you gotta sell it for scraps and parts. You go into a jewelry store, they know that shit stole or fake. You not finna get no bread off this shit for real. So you putting your life in jail for 5-10% of what the fuck you could really get for it,
etc.
Nigga, if you go do this shit, you might as well do a real heist.
A bunch of shit, and they just dip, right? A lot of this was happening in the major cities in the US, like New York, Los Angeles, etc. I think a lot that was happening can be connected to the things that were going on politically during that time, yes. But I think the pandemic and COVID-19 was a turning point for sure. I don't know about you, but I noticed how humans became way more,
Nobody gonna buy for those. Yeah, nobody's finna buy that shit. No one's high, especially like cars. That'd be my crazy thing. Like, cars are the biggest thing.
Were willing to do to others as far as hurting their fellow human beings. So with that shift, I noticed, and maybe you noticed this as well, I noticed how a lot of crimes were becoming way more vicious. You started hearing more and more about old people getting beat up and robbed. Gang violence became way more intense in communities all over the world, and kids started getting caught in the middle of it more often. Like,
it became less of, oh, I'm finna just rob you, into I'm finna rob and kill you. Why do you have to kill through all this shit? You could have just let the motherfucker go. You already doing enough by stealing, but you gotta kill the nigga too? Like, what do you gain from that?
Less and less concern for each other, and individualism, I would say, is at an all-time high right now, especially after 2020. But around 2020, this thing called smash and grabs became a common occurrence. Some of y'all might have seen a lot of those videos.
And a lot of this shit, I feel like it really just came up because niggas had nothing else. Why is he standing there? Why is this nigga still standing there? What the fuck is he doing? He's holding the door open for them? Man, he better than me. Nigga, I would have just walked out. Oh man, look, that ain't got shit to do with me, and I would have walked my ass right the fuck out.
iPhones, and sometimes
holding the door open for them is crazy.
Groups, right? All ski masked up, looking like Pooh Shiesty.
Sunday, a group of thieves stole from the Nike store in East LA. We are blurring their faces here because they appear to be juveniles. And last week, a flash mob robbery occurred at the Americana at Brand, one of developer Rick Caruso's properties.
That shit is crazy.
Despite their sophisticated security systems and armed guards, it still happened.
And sometimes they arrive by themselves, like this man at this Apple store, and they clean out the whole spot.
This personally is one of the dumbest ones I've ever seen in my fucking life. This one right here, I've seen this countless times. This is the dumbest one, because as soon as you take them phones out, you leave, they finna brick every single one of them phones. You ain't finna get shit for it. You ain't finna get shit for it. That's why the workers just standing around letting them do it. Cause what you finna do with all these phones, bro? What you finna do with all these phones? What do you actually think you finna do? Nigga got phones in his fucking ankles. Let's be that. Nigga got phones in his fucking ankles. You know how fucking dumb you have to be? And then it looks like you're doing this on a strip. Anywhere an Apple store is gonna be a bunch of police around. It's gonna be like a populated place. This nigga dumb as fuck.
Not only did he clean out the whole spot of all their iPhones, put all the phones in his boxers, but he did all that and literally walked past a police car. If that ain't talent, bravery, and confidence in one, I don't know what
that's
is.
That's a YN, because he don't give a fuck what the consequence is.
And although the image that pops up in people's heads is a black male or teen rocking a Pujazi ski mask, let's focus on the behavior itself, because that's what we're talking about. The YN mindset is a way of behaving, operating, and seeing the world. You don't think the consequences of your actions will catch up to you. Like this clip of this white kid talking a bunch of trash to a police officer and getting manhandled.
Get off your seat. Okay, take it off your seat. Yeah. Let me get your ID. You ain't gonna get shit. Okay. Take it off your seat.
Niggas like this, they don't even, he not even the YN. You just lame as hell. This is just lame as hell. Like, you not even tough, bro. A YN would have stole off this nigga and ran. That's what a YN would do. You not even a YN, nigga. You not even a YW. I mean, a YC. You not even a YC.
Well, what you laughing for? I'm writing your shit. Take it off.
And we're gonna cut it right there because YouTube is very strict.
Damn.
These days, okay. Let's just say that the end result was the young man begging for mercy on the ground. Okay.
I wish I would have seen the rest of that shit.
A huge proponent of pushing the normalization of the YN mindset, and this is something I've spoken about on here for years in different contexts. We've seen countless young rappers crashing out for absolutely no reason, whether it's home invasions turned deadly in the TK case, or killing one of the most famous drill rappers at the time, Pop Smoke, when you're only 15 years old. That's a YN. Crash out and YN behavior, and you often see memes about this kind of thing, but I've yet to see an
This is dumb as hell. Like, these niggas just really be fucking dumb.
Why it needs to be abolished. We're talking about young people in large amounts, acting reckless, belligerent, hurting people in the process without
this that case that Von off 1700 be talking about. He was talking about he was going in the store to get some ruffles or some shit like that.
Hard for how it's going to affect their lives and others.
Yeah, niggas do want to kill you for a name. That shit just lame.
Babies weren't
like, you not even making no bread off this shit.
They obviously were. Just ask your parents. It's just
you not even making no money.
And more innocent people getting caught in the middle of it. And a lot of this is being televised to an entire generation of young children through social media. And the number one, commonality that I've observed in this type of behavior is structure or lack thereof. Often we see this type of behavior in society, either in your own backyard or in close proximity to you or the people you love. You'll notice how a lot of these young boys, right, specifically young boys, because young girls aren't out here like putting on.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Structure plays a part in it, but I promise you, there's some niggas out here who are chemically up here. They are not right in the head, and they don't give a fuck about nothing. Like, they literally just can't give a fuck about nothing. Not saying that's what every YN is. They dead ass just don't give a fuck about nothing. And there's nothing you could put in front of them, nothing you could say to them, nothing you could do to them to make them act right.
Right? Most times they're not. In 99% of the cases, they're not right. You'll notice how a lot of these young boys come from fatherless households, and 9 times out of 10, they were most likely raised by a single mother. A lot of times we also see another thing.
If I shoot you on brains, but if you shoot me, then you famous. That's
if not that, at the very least, we're talking about a working class background. And here's the thing:
what
happens when a father is absent in a lot of cases? Well, according to the studies, this has been very well documented. They say the following: research shows when a child grows up in a father-absent home, he or she is 4 times more likely to live in poverty, more likely to suffer emotional and behavioral problems. Children of single mothers show higher levels of aggressive behavior than children born to married mothers. And number 4 is very major because it kind of goes hand in hand with this topic, and that is more likely to go to prison. 1 in 5 prison inmates had a father in prison. And then at number 5, which is very, very, very important for this topic, more likely to commit crime. Study of juvenile offenders indicate that family structure significantly predicts delinquency. Number 8, we have more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. And then at number 10, we have 2 times more likely to drop out of high school. Now, obviously, not every single teen who comes from this type of background ends up committing brazen crimes or acts belligerent or shows a lack of self-control in spaces occupied by others, right? And the question is, why is that? Well, there's a couple angles to this. First of all, a big one that's not emphasized.
I ain't gonna lie, that don't sound bad. Sending niggas who like to kill to the army don't sound bad until that nigga start killing his own country people. Like, he go get mad and start killing the niggas that's on his side. That's where shit gonna get bad at, because these niggas don't give a fuck. They killing they grannies. These niggas out here killing they moms and they grannies and shit for insurance, bro. Insurance. We're talking insurance. $100K. Like
This
what?
personality. You can come from the worst conditions and have every single obstacle against you known to mankind. If you're not naturally inclined to be this type of person, you're not gonna put on a mask and start robbing old folks, right? And on the other hand, you can come from a household of love, two loving parents. You know, your name could be Clarence, and if you find the idea of being a menace to society appealing, then that's the path you're gonna go down. And then we of course have a mix of this along with environmental influences, which we'll touch on later. Aside from that, another aspect of this is back in the day, there used to be this thing called a rite of passage, something you did that marks the transitional phase of your life into adulthood. And this rite of passage added a layer of accountability to them as people, and it set a precedent that said you're now responsible for your own life, so act accordingly. Nowadays, we don't have any of that. Culturally, things are less structured. I mean, this young new generation doesn't really even know how to follow authority. Just take a look at what's happening with teachers and their students now.
Disrespect from students. In the 3 years that I've been teaching, I've been cussed at.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Like I went to school with some crash outs and shit like that. Like these niggas wasn't even like they not waiting to go catch you in the bathroom to beat your ass. Like these niggas catching you on the way to school, like ready to beat your ass, bro. Like beat your ass. These niggas, I really feel like it's okay. Yeah, I get it's about the dads. I'm gonna be honest with you. I grew up without my dad for the most part. Like without my dad, him and my mom broke up when I was fucking 3 years old or some shit like that, and I didn't have father figures in my life I was just a good kid. I was scared of the world. I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to school, I played football, I went home and played the game. You feel me? Like, these niggas was out here at like 10, 11 years old trying to run the streets and shit, bro. And I tried to do that shit one time with some niggas and I was like, nah, I'd rather be in the crib. These niggas just don't give a fuck, bro. Like, they didn't get their ass whooped when they was young. They didn't. I'm not talking that you gotta get get beat every day by for no reason, but niggas don't know what the fuck consequences is. And them niggas who do know what consequences is and still do the shit, that's a real YN. They just don't give a fuck.
People from this generation think that following basic instructions like sit down or put your phone down is a sign of disrespect. A lot of the youth who adopt this YN mindset actually come from loving households. They didn't have to worry about missing meals or going to sleep without a blanket, only, showering with cold water, sleeping on the floor, eating rice.
Yeah, they do just be highlighting black people.
A lot of them have been spoiled to the point where
I think Hispanics are crazier.
Outside, suddenly turns.
I think Hispanics are crazier than black people, but I think black people are just dumber. I'm be honest with you.
Excitement leads them down a road where they start acting out in ways that not only put themselves in danger, but the rest of us that want nothing to do with any of this. And a lot of the young boys who fall into this category, right, of kind of having this YN mindset, a lot of them just have no identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they want in life. They don't know where they're actually going. And it doesn't help that they don't have any real life positive and tangible influences around them as
that's the thing. Like,
can become. On top of that,
Hispanics go by rules that like niggas used to go by rules that like no kids, no women,
whether it's people
no elderly,
or things like videos of people who look just like them, white, black, purple, not color specific.
These niggas now don't care. They're gonna attack anybody. They're gonna kill 2-year-olds, bro.
That validates their way.
They're gonna kill 2-year-olds. They have no morals and shit at this point.
Living in their mind. When you're spending more time with a screen that's made
he was with them.
Your mind in a negative way.
He was with them
with real people. Is it really a surprise that so
this nigga was in the store with them? What?
Many of these young kids are turning out this way? I don't really think so. And speaking of the identity thing, because I think this is worth hitting on a little more. I think this is the core of the issue, actually. Notice how a lot of the, in this case, the YNs who fall in this category, right? They tend to roll in packs. Now, why is it that people who exude this, I'm a savage mindset don't have the confidence to walk in the streets by themselves? You're supposedly this tough guy who likes to...
Because they're not real gangsters, bro. All these niggas know is guns.
To cause ruckus in the streets.
These niggas don't know shit but guns.
To go outside by yourself. Let me tell you why that is. It's because a lot of these young men don't have an identity. They find their sense of security in the group because they don't have a sense of themselves. And the only time they can be themselves is when they're around a pack of 13 other YNs who think just like them. That's how they feel safe being them. They don't have any home training. They don't know what it means to conduct themselves in a public setting and be one with their environment. They're loud, they're aggressive, and they're repelling, honestly. So a lot of this stems from not knowing who they are.
No, I personally, I think it's both. I really think it's both. I really feel like A lot of them is exactly what he said. They don't have an identity, so they follow behind a bunch of other niggas who really have issues. And so now you got a mixed group of these motherfuckers, you feel me? Like, you got these niggas who dead ass, like I've dead ass met niggas who just, they, for the life of them, they just can't give a single fuck about nothing. They don't care. But I've also met niggas who just want to follow behind the niggas that they see because they don't know who the fuck they is. They don't know what they life is. They don't know what they want to be in life and all that shit. Like I grew up in a part of Chicago where it was like it was bad, but it wasn't old block bad. It wasn't 63rd type bad. Like it wasn't that type of bad. Like it wasn't the trenches, but I grew up in the bad part. These niggas just genuinely don't give a fuck. They just genuinely don't give a fuck. Like this shit is fucking crazy.
A lack of identity, and the natural response to that, rebellion, validated by the approval of the group. So their way of belonging is by being posted up with others who they feel have.
It's a mix of both dumbass groups.
The oxymoron is the mission is obviously dysfunctional and it adds no value to society at all. And the thing is, there's a reason why a lot of these young men are so quick to crash out, catching felonies through stealing, robbing, and in some cases even taking a life. We've seen that in hip hop, right? To them, catching a charge or crashing out, that's not a loss to them because they never felt like they even had a real place. Because
they feel like they got status in this shit now, doing that shit.
You're in this demographic of people who could fall.
They feel like killing people gives them a status. When it's like, nah, nigga, the rest of the world just look at you dumb as hell.
Being a YN, right? It's seeing.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. This nigga Alex got his ass bust.
You finna die laughing.
Yeah, you got your ass beat.
You know I did.
You got your ass beat.
Listen, it was valuable lesson.
Yeah, you underestimating niggas.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm on PS4. I was on PS5. I threw like 4 dummy balls. I was Texas. He was Ohio State at home.
Hey, tell him run it back for the best 2 out of 3.
I should.
Now you get to pick your team and you play at home. That's the only valid way. That's the only valid way to really do that shit.
Right now, I'm finna go see Raven. I don't give a fuck. I'm finna go put gas in my tank. I'm finna go see my girlfriend. I'll take my L. I'm a man, bro. It's a game. At the end of it, I talk my shit, and bro, it was obvious. But like, he also got game. I'm gonna keep the bear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invite him. I no bullshit though. That's my homie. So like, he definitely respectable. Definitely respectable.
Shit, I'll play his ass at some point.
Right. If you play him, and you do what I think you're gonna do, because you're better than me in this game. He just has time. And I feel for being worked like 10 hours a day. But no, he decent as hell. I gotta give him respect.
Shit, I'll play him at some point. Shit.
Say, I'll probably be in most of the leagues and shit. I know the nigga be on.
Shit, go ahead and invite him.
Say less.
Alright, gang, I'm gonna get over with you. Alright. My bad, chat. This nigga Alex called me earlier. Talking about he was finna put belted ass in college football on this nigga that he know. And lo and behold, this nigga Alex got his ass whooped, nigga. Like, last score I seen was like 35-7. You feel me? Like, that was the last score I seen, and it was in the third quarter.
Let's say you have a hobby you're passionate about. Maybe you like to sing, rap, write music, paint, health and fitness. You know, maybe you want to be the next Kai Cenat. Actually, don't try to be the next anybody. Just be you, right? Or you're in trading school, medical school, or you just graduated high school and you have plans to do something with your life. It's the options that are available.
Apparently, the last score I seen was 35-7.
The reality is, there's
35-7
these days who've given up.
in a third
lot of
quarter.
These are young men, sadly, and a lot of them, they lock themselves in the basement. They don't participate in life. They get hooked on drugs, alcohol, pornography. They play too much video games, whatever. They hate the world. They hate themselves. They hate women, especially, and they're not willing to do anything to change their situation. And yes, there's something to be said about why a lot of those, young men are in those particular
I do feel like 90% of this shit is mentality.
Solve anything. That's what we're talking
It is
about,
mentality, bro.
And then what happens a lot of times and
a lot of these niggas don't look further down into their life. Like, a lot of these niggas, they don't look into what life could be if they actually tried. They only look into what life could be from what they've seen in their personal life. Like, they don't know if you just simply start going to the gym or you just simply find a little hobby, you could turn that hobby into some bread. You could change a lot of your life with just the small shit that you do. And a lot of these niggas don't want to do the small shit. Also, I'll be honest with you, a lot of these niggas are either gay as fuck and they hide that by acting homophobic and acting like they tough, and they gotta do this shit to prove that they're not gay. That's what a lot of this shit is. That's what a lot of that shit is. You feel me? That's what a lot of this shit is, bro. And it sucks because it's like, bro, that ain't got shit to do with it, man. That ain't got shit to do with it. You feel me? Like, niggas, you don't gotta prove yourself to nobody, bro. Like, real shit. You don't gotta prove yourself to nobody, man. And the niggas just, I don't know, it'd be so weird because y'all DL, or y'all just really so lazy in life that y'all just figure out that barely scraping by, barely having enough to eat and all that shit is the way to live, instead of wanting more for yourself. Niggas don't know how to work hard.
That is, they get involved in the wrong crowd, and then a bunch of people with no identity come together and cause a bunch of
it's so many such niggas. Like, gee, I'm finna tell y'all like some personal shit that a majority of people know. I did OnlyFans. When I tell you the amount of Chicago niggas who was hitting me up, I'm not gay. I'm not gay at all. I'm not even in the slightest. I'm straight as fuck. I have no issues with gay people though. I don't give a fuck if you gay or not. I don't give a fuck if you was a transformer. It don't have shit to do with me and my life and what I like. But the amount of Chicago niggas I've seen in the burbs and in the trenches that was gay as fuck, it's like, damn, you gay. Nigga, it's an insane amount, bro. Like, niggas just don't understand.
YNs robs an 80-year-old lady.
They just don't understand.
And she slips and hits her head and dies. That's unnecessary pain and suffering that people in our communities have to deal with. Energetically and spiritually, there's something that happens to you as a human being that other humans around you are grieving. That energy gets transferred to the rest of the community and it lowers the frequency of the environment around you. I'm talking people walk around more anxious that it could happen to one of their loved ones or them. And I'm talking about, let's say, one of these YNs, doing something that leads to someone in a particular community dying, and then that kind of feeds into the community. That's what I'm talking about, right? People start walking around tense, guarded, doubting that their fellow humans have some kind of agenda when all they're doing is being polite or helpful, and that becomes the new normal. That's how distrust in society among people is created. And not to make this about money, right? But it does cost the government when tragedies happen. And a few examples of that, well, number one, emergency medical care for victims of violence. That is funded by the taxpayers, us. So it by default becomes a public burden. Number two, the police actually has to investigate the crimes, which that's an expense. And something that's kind of connected to this, which is, the average cost, and that's number three, the average cost of housing a juvenile in a detention center in the United States is over $200,000 a year. Did you know that? I didn't really know that. That's news to me, right? So when that 17-year-old young boy decides to catch a felony charge by popping somebody, right, or like doing something crazy, that's a price we gotta pay for what he did. And also, number four, okay, let's not forget things like increasing cost of insurance in high crime neighborhoods. And number five, and also this is a big one, businesses taking their companies elsewhere and leaving the areas where, these, in this case, these YNs are terrorizing, right? And obviously it ain't just YNs, doing all this crazy stuff. That's what we're focusing on in this video, obviously, okay? So you get it. And then something that's connected to number five, and I'm sure some of y'all have heard about this, right? Which is, haven't y'all heard what's happening to so many, like specifically like black communities in America? Whether it's Walmart.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. A big part of it is, I don't know. Like, yeah. Okay, like wages and jobs and shit, I understand. Like, niggas feel like, I don't understand. It's a slippery slope with this.
Major chain,
in my opinion,
the economy of said neighborhood.
It's a slippery slope.
These black neighborhoods, and they're leaving.
But they be acting like white people don't be stealing this shit too. White people just as bad.
Losing so much money to the point where it's not even profitable for them to actually stay in these neighborhoods, right? And it's a shame that regular folks who aren't a part of all this craziness and all this chaos have to deal with this, and they don't have the funds to move, so they get affected, right? So it's really unfortunate how this is particularly affecting black neighborhoods all over America. A very small minority of our
I don't know why people be thinking I'm gay. I ain't gonna lie, nigga. I thought you was gay when you first came around. I'm not gonna bullshit you.
What other way to put it? And obviously, like, most people aren't on this. Like, it's a very, very small minority of people like who are doing this, right? And I know it might feel like this conversation has taken a little bit of a turn, but I think all this is connected and it goes deeper than just a couple YNs.
All that shit is definitely
I don't know if
connected.
this is gonna get better. Like, are things actually gonna get better? Because to me, it feels like the younger generation is getting more belligerent as the years go by. It feels like social media has done a number on their mind, and the algorithms are validating this messed up way of thinking and operating. And there's
Hell yeah, I don't think it's gonna get any better. I ain't go front.
As well.
I just don't see it getting any better because shit just getting harder for black people. We got a weirdo as a fucking president, and we got social media is more accessible than ever, and parents don't take their kids away from social media. The fact that these niggas got social media is the biggest issue because they see all the goofy shit that comes around. Like growing up, me, I had Call of Duty and shit, but I wasn't going on social media and seeing the niggas from 3 blocks down kill somebody. Like I wasn't seeing all that shit, you feel me?
Strong parents, leadership, guidance, structure, you name it. I think that's the medicine to a lot of the issues we've discussed in this video. However, the sad part is someone can grow up having all these things and more, but end up like this. We've seen it in so many different examples. A good example is T.I.'s son, King Harris. He's probably the best example of someone who had every advantage in the book, but still ended up trying to appear as a thug, a gangster, you know, someone who's about it. So there's no guarantees that someone ends up the right way. I know so many parents who've actually done their best, but their kids ended up catching felonies, murder charges. I mean, I know so many parents personally who they did actually do their best, but their kids still ended up catching felonies, murder charges, you name it. I guess in the end, all you can do is just do your best as a parent and hope for the best. Overall, it's also a community thing if you ask me. We as people, we have to make sure that our respective communities don't get destroyed by this type of behavior. We all got to make sure that we try to hold each other accountable as much as possible, and we actually protect our communities. That's one of the most important things that I think that we as people, we can do. Anyway, if you made it this far, drop a little like on this video for the...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like my personal opinion on this whole thing as a whole, like my nephew. He used to be bad as fuck, but if you straighten the nigga out, if you straighten these little niggas out, you're not gonna have said issues that you had before. Like, you do need structure, but at the end of the day, if a motherfucker is 18, 19, 20 years old, that's just a bad human at that point. If they're younger, 15 to like 10 and all that shit, there's somebody in their life. There's somebody in their life that's provoking that shit in them, 1000%. All these real young niggas like 15 and 16 and lower, there's somebody in their life that's enticing them to do that shit, bro. There's somebody in their life. They're not just getting that shit from nowhere. They're not getting it from nowhere. And the access to social media. That's another big, really, really big thing is social media.